Well, hello folks, my name's Ian and welcome to my shed. Doing a little bit of looking for space, as always. We're not actually doing too bad. We are getting through it all. I did a weigh-in last week at the old Amble Yard and that got rid of 5 sacks. And I'm actually getting some space. I've been doing stripping a bit of wire, but it's kind of like, well, that, you know, and get hold of that and I can compress it. It ain't taking up that much space. But I've got 2 mystery boxes there, and that's taking up some real estate. So I thought this video, I'll take them bits. We'll see what's in them. I don't know, but well, look at that. I'm sweating. It's a rather hot day here in the UK, and I've got a shed with a metal roof. So I'm just like one of them jockeys, Anna, you know, who sweat to get underweight. I'll have a lot of sweating to do. I can imagine me getting on an horse, or a Norse. No, a Norse is somebody from Norway. No, I'm not getting on at the Norwegians. Okay, forget that. So, losing my train of thought now. So, scrapping. Some people do it for a living, you know, and they don't have time to take things to bits, you know, to get down to the nitty gritty, get what they can out of it. Steel is the meal, or they collect it, take it straight in, get out there, street scrapping, collect more and repeat. Well, that's not the same for me. I'm a hobbyist scrapper. I work full time, so if I pick something up, I've got the luxury to strip it in my own time. Hey, it'd be plain, it's like going fishing, isn't it? You know, I've come across this box. I don't know what's in it. At the moment, I don't even know how to get in it. I've got a good idea. But that's it. It's playing for me, this, you know. You scrappers out there, you may never ever come across one of these. But if you do, you'll say, oh, I remember Ian, he took one of them apart and it's chunky enough. There might be something in it. And then we've got the other one, but I'm going to put you on the homemade tripoded, well, it's a monopod because a tripod's got 3 legs. Okay, a bit like a pig I made once. But this is what you could technically call a monopod. Well, technically it's a speaker stand converted into a phone stand with a tripod vent mounting fixated to a speaker stand that's, I'm waffling. Let's show you what I'm up to. Recording. Right, I have already paid my dues to the scrap goddess. So we've got a little box. It's got some connections on that side, and it's got some connections on that side, and it's so obviously something's going in and something's coming out. It's quite riveting how they've done this construction. Oh, that's bad, wasn't it? So we got rivets, we got 1 screw, 2 screws, 3 screws, 4 screws. Those screws I suspect are only holding this in. So the main construction is these rivets, and got no doubts will upset all the wood turners out there, wood engineers, and we'll take a wood chisel and I'll take those rivets off with this wood chisel, a fine tool for doing that. So that's that one. It's got a danger don't open, danger of death sticker, even though I don't read. I'm going to say Korean. That's more like Korean than it is Chinese or Japanese, I think. I'm not an expert. Got a clue there. It says EMI filter. Electromagnetic Interference Filter, EMI. By Salvaging Electric Company. Rating 500 volts, 30 amps. TV, no, it can't be television. 25,000 VAC. I don't know what that means, but we're gonna take it bits. Right, this one's a bit more interesting. It's not as heavy. It's filthy. Okay. It's got two handles. Got two rod. It's an on-off switch. On-off switch. A rotary dial switch. 4 screws. More screws. It's covered in paint. It's got a about an 8-pin connector there, and it's got a lock on, so you plug in whatever you're plugging in and then you lock it in, and it's got a lead coming out. This has been snipped off. We've got a plaque, can't read. We've got 2 things with a screw hole, which are going to be fuses. More screws, and we've got a little bit of writing which says Wagner. Or if you're German, it's probably Wagner. Now Wagner is it's something to do with painting equipment. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm going to have to take you off and show you this. So there we go. Wagner International, or possibly shouted Wagner. You can't read. Where's my finger gone? Can't read the rest of it unless I scrape it off, but we're getting here now. Something that's get a pointy stick. Let's get a pointy stick. Voltage 50-60 hertz, 115 volts, 230, so 230 volts. Something Leitstung 30 amps. Something Storgrad suppression FN. Guido 1 Delt, please forgive me. Shucks lassie. There we go. Shucks lassie. Shucks lassie. Shucked. There's a T in there. Look. There's a T. So it's a shucks classy. Shucks classy. Guido, I did say forgive me on my butchering the German pronunciation. Less chatting, more bashing. Okay, see your screw, take it out all day long, you'll have good luck. We'll turn it over. We'll do the same on this side, even though there is the bits of the screws have been filled in with dried, well, what is it, kind of like powdery. So this might be a powder coating, something to do with powder coating, which is, you know, an electrostatic energy applied to the metal that you want to cover. You spray, so you apply a negative energy to the metal. You spray it with some positive particle paint, so the positive particles stick to the metal, and then you put it in an oven and you melt the positive particles of paint, which then flow and powder coat it, or giving you a painted finish with nothing ever being wet. That makes sense? Kind of. Oh, well, we've got some entry, and what we can see in there is some circuitry. So we'll just snip wires off. That's bits done. More as well. Oh. Right. Oh, look, we've got a circuitry board. So that's a rheostat. And I don't know enough about electronics or e-waste recycling to say what these are, other than I know those are capacitors, and that's aluminium. That is probably a relay. That's probably a relay. You've got these, what they call EPROMs. And these are EPROMs from old-fashioned days, where you could take them out, put them in an EPROM programmer, program them, and then put them back into where you've come from. And everybody in the e-waste community is now going to say, "What a load of crap, Ian! You don't know what you're talking about." We've got some funny shaped M&Ms. Like I said, a funny shape because they're like tiny little minions. Anyway, that's not that. Looking down there, big transformer. We've not got every screw out, so in the finest traditions of giving out, give it a clout. There we go. It's been scrapped anyway, isn't it? Sorry, you're going on a very wonky angle there. Steel case. Could be aluminium handles, but equally it could just be plastic. And you're going all wonky again. I'm sorry. Hang on. If I tighten this screw at the back there. Not quite sure. There you go. You may go wonky again, I don't know. Are you bothered? Right. Fuses, as I said, a transformer, 110 230 volt primary, coming out 17 and 20 volts and 30 volts. Not 17, 20 volts, 30 volts. So the tappings are coming off, they're giving you different voltages, doing God knows what, I don't know. All I know is I've got a transformer out of it. Boosh. And I'm going to fix you. Well, we're just doing a bit of snipping here, trying to make it, you know, trying to pretend we're one of them, like a florist. You know, you just snip here, snip there and make something look a little bit better. So, winning in so much as now we've got that off, which is aluminium, so we got a bit of something out of it. We can take that bit later on. Like I say, it's just some cable and some do I even attempt to pronounce this? Where's the camera? Where's the camera? And it's called a pepperifouche. Let's tidy up a bit and mystery box number 2. Okay, ladies and gents, we've already discussed this slightly. It's those are just spinning round, ain't doing nothing. Right, to get in here, as I said, it's riveted all the way around. Now, the quickest way to get rivets out, in my opinion, is to take a wood chisel and just chisel them off like that. So a little getting a little bit heady there, you know, so that's a hammer to fix. We've got the rivet heads off. I've not got those off. Those should be relatively easy to fettle, shouldn't they? So and what have we got in here? Copper! Copper! Whoa, look at that. Look at all those yellow things. So what have we got indeed? Right. We've got, we knew it was 500 volts, that's 3 phases in, so 1, 2, 3 phases, and they're going round, wrapped round a rather large inductor. Now what's an inductor? Well, it takes, what does an inductor do? Well, as electricity comes down here and goes round, when electrons flow through some copper cable, copper wire, a conductor, it induces magnetism. Right, so what you've got there, as the electronicists would say, is a rather large inductor. As a scrapper would say, it's copper. So let's take it bits. God. As I've always said, see a screw, take it out all day long, you'll have good luck. The next saying is, if in doubt, give it a clout. And that seemed to work a treat. Okie doke. So we've got some, we'll have some brass, nickel plated brass components in there. I got there some more nickel plated copper or brass. Right, what have we got here? Well, we have got some rather nice aubergine looking resin with some very large capacitors. I reckon they're not going to be capacitors because they don't say they've got microfarads on, do they? Says 47k 500 AC, so 47. They're resistors, very large resistors. This big choke. Can we rescue the copper choke, the inductor, from this big resin block? If in doubt, give it a clout. Well, the short answer is yes. It's like, oh, it's like a bar of chocolate. You can just break that open. Whoa, I'm sweating. Right, I think those are going to be copper. Where is the file of truth? The file of truth. Indeed. So those are all copper. Is that copper? It could be aluminium. No, that's copper. So there we go. Bit of shred. Bit of cable, bit of copper, bit of maybe some brass, transformer, but more importantly, bit of space. Okay, I'm laughing because the camera mount's not working, keeps going like that. So at the moment it's balanced on a piece of tube, which is balanced on that transformer on a piece of wood, and I hope nothing moves. Right, that's it. Ian in his shed, and we've had a bit of a play. I enjoy playing in my shed, and right, but let's go back to an inductor. Right, how do I explain it to you? Do you want it explaining to you? Do you need to know? Well, I need to know, so I looked it up. And I looked up the idiot's version of inductors. And it said simple. Right, take a light bulb, not a fluorescent, but a normal bulb, lamp. Bulbs are what you plant in the ground. So take a lamp, connect it via a switch, like that. Switch it on, it comes on. Switch it off, it goes off. That's what switches do. On, off. Right. Put that in between the switch and the light. And you switch it on, and that'll go dim, then go bright as normal. switch it off, and that'll stay still lit for a short while. That's because the inductor, with electrons going through it, have induced a magnetic field which has stored energy. And when you turn the switch off, it'll release that energy and still power the light bulb lamp for a short while. I don't know how long. Yeah, it did a little bit, but still longer than instantaneously off. Now then, if that were a capacitor, that does something kind of the same thing, as in you put power in, and then all the all the negative ions go to one side, and all the positive ions go to the other side, because it's like a piece of paper all wrapped up with something in between to stop them talking to each other, and they all go to one side of the paper and the other goes to the other side of the paper. But the moment you turn the power off, they all want to get back together, so they instantaneously come out, which is why capacitors are dangerous, because they instantaneously release all that energy that they've stored. Which is when I got a belt the other couple of weeks back off that capacitor off the television, which I tested, which I shouldn't have done, and then gone straight back into it and screwdriver, and I got a belt because that thing decided, hey, well, let's all go back together again. And where shall we go? Oh, right down Ian Matthews's arms. That's where we'll go, which is the closest way to the earth, down through my feet. A shocking experience. Right. I'm cooking in here. Not my best. Hard to tell. There's a big chunk of ferrite material in there which I need to break open. But I've got something out of it. I've got more than something. I've already said I've got space out of it. I've got little knowledge out of it. And I've got some copper. Ian in his shed. See you all in the next one soon. Tidy up in here now. What a mess. I'm still bleeding. We'll stick it where they make new ones.